The 4th generation Toyota Land Cruiser Prado, coded J150, arrived in 2009 and was refreshed in 2014 and 2018. For some, the Land Cruiser Prado will be the only option in their home market, while others will know it as the smaller, although still classed as full size, of the Land Cruiser options on offer. If you don't have the J150 Land Cruiser in your home market, it may be sold as the Lexus GX. The Prado model first came to market in 1984 and was developed to be a light-duty alternative to the larger Land Cruiser. Its first generation was the J70 designation and was only purchasable as a short body. Since then, the Prado has grown in size and found a loyal consumer base. As with any Toyota, the desire to make their vehicles available to the world mean that there are quite a few variations that may or may not be available in your home market. We have tried to concentrate on the model iterations that most people will be familiar with, but please let us know in the comments if your example has something different to look out for. 2 base variants of the J150 exist with 3 and 5 doors, but the 5 doors are generally higher specified and many markets will find it to be their only option, with the 3-door reserved for markets that need higher choice or want lower trim levels, as the Prado is to be used for more utilitarian purposes. To help with our guide, we wanted to give some region-specific information before going into the common issues to look out for. First up is the Australian market. Getting the Prado in late 2009, you'll find them badged in either GX, GXL, VX and Kakadu trim, with Kakadu offering the highest specification, and in 2012 the Altitude model slotted into the range between the GXL and VX, becoming quite popular selection among buyers. A 3-door model is available in the early years but was dropped in 2013. Both 4-litre V6 and 2.8-litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel are offered. In North America, you'll be looking for the 2nd generation Lexus GX for an equivalent vehicle, badged GX460. Models sold in 2010 were given a safety warning for lift-off oversteer in testing. A recall was issued to resolve the stability control issue. You should check the history and contact a dealer to make sure this recall has been done. A 4.6-litre V8 was offered across the years of production. In Europe, the Prado is simply referred to as the Land Cruiser, as it is the only option for buyers purchasing from a Toyota dealer, although a small import market exists for larger J100 and J200 Land Cruisers. These are offered in trims LC3, LC4 and LC5, and equipped with a 2.8-litre 4-cylinder diesel engine. In Japan, they get the same 4-litre V6 as the Australian market until 2015, the 2.8-litre diesel as both Europe and Australia, and a 2.7-litre 4-cylinder engine producing 162 brake horsepower. The Toyota Land Cruiser has a strong reputation for dependability and is generally scored highly by owners. Part of this is Toyota's ethos of the Land Cruiser model that gives them a 25-year lifespan. To expand on this, most manufacturers state an 8 to 10-year lifespan. This is not because they believe the vehicle cannot continue to function after this time, but that most stop being taken to the dealer for regular maintenance, and specialists usually step in as larger and more expensive work is needed to keep them on the road. However, the Land Cruiser is designed and built with the expectation it will continue to arrive at dealers until 25 years old, at which point larger jobs may be needed to extend the service life. Some people confuse this for thinking that the Land Cruiser will last 25 years but then start to fail, when in fact some owners clock up as many as 500,000 miles on the original engine, and even after 35 years still find their Land Cruiser to be dependable. Something that is often forgotten about is the positive environmental impact of building a vehicle to last dependably for such a long period of time. In 2020, the Land Cruiser was named the most sustainable 4x4 on sale by 4x4 magazine. 4x4 magazine editor Alan Kidd explained, "Not everyone will be able to understand why the Land Cruiser has won our sustainability award, but it is very simple. You can buy one, and if you so choose, never need to return to the car market for the rest of your life." However, saying all of this, no car is perfect, so here are the common areas to look out for. Body positioning sensors are reported to fail around 60,000 miles. A replacement sensor leaves no further reported issues. Although body panels have very few recorded issues, the paint has been known to crack or delaminate. This has led to some being repainted across panels and patchy repair work due to the thickness and hardness of paint used for repairs. Centre lock actuators have reported failures with vehicles that have been frequently used off-road. However, examples that have rolled the majority of their miles on the road are less likely to have this issue. Pneumatic suspension cylinders and pneumatic compressors may also prematurely wear if regularly used off-road. Ball joints, CV joints and bushings have higher wear rates than smaller vehicles, and so a test drive that reveals a particularly wallowy ride could be an indication of impending maintenance. Oil seals on the gearbox should be inspected every 60,000 miles. If seepage or a leak is noticed, then new oil seals and fresh oil is the likely remedy. If you're enjoying this video so far, then consider subscribing. We can see from our analytics that many of you that are enjoying our channel aren't subscribed, so why not tap the button to get more from us? It really does help the channel grow and be found by others. Next up, the engines. First we have the 4-litre V6. Considered one of the most robust units offered, it produces 266 brake horsepower or 199 kilowatts and gets quoted at 21.1 to 23.8 miles per gallon, depending on year, fuel quality and market. Head gasket failure will be noticed by checking the oil cap for any milking and seeing if the oil is visible around the lower portion of the engine head. This has a low number of reports, but has been noticed on some examples with 100,000 miles or more, so worth checking. Water pumps have a mix of reports with some premature failures. However, as these are a part that is considered a longer life maintenance item, it would be worth checking for any leaks and seeing if there is a history of the part being replaced. Premature wear of spark plugs and ignition coils has been reported, enough to make our guide. However, this issue was not widely reported across all markets, and so few other failures were mentioned for this engine, we could be guilty of nitpicking at this point. The Japanese market 2.7 litre 4-cylinder is also found in the 4Runner and Hilux. An update in 2015 increased power from 155 brake horsepower to 158 brake horsepower. Once again, this is a very robust engine, with the only issues we could find reported being oil leaks from the front main seal, and there was also owners that mentioned some electrical issues, although none appeared to cause engine failure. If you have one of these motors and know of any other failures that are common, please put them in the comments below. One note we have made is that they can feel underpowered and overstressed in the Land Cruiser due to the vehicle's weight and the engine's relatively low power. The 2.8 litre 4-cylinder diesel engine is a favourite in many markets for its torque and relatively good fuel efficiency, producing 170 brake horsepower in earlier models and 198 brake horsepower from 2020 with an average of 38.2 miles per gallon. Two recorded issues from owners on the diesel are clogged EGR valves. A resolution is either preventative maintenance of having them removed and cleaned at set intervals or replacements. Problems with diesel particulate filters are also well recorded across several applications of the 2.8 litre diesel. A manual regeneration system was added in 2018 in some markets. Occurrences appear mixed, although low mileage city start-stop traffic is a known cause of DPF regeneration issues for diesels of all kinds, and so it isn't a Toyota diesel specific issue, but one you would be cautious of due to the expense of replacement, and owners that cover low mileage should take their vehicle for regular longer drives to allow for regeneration. Finally, the 3 litre D4D producing 170 brake horsepower and averaging 34.9 miles per gallon, that was carried over from the J150 3rd generation Prado. Of the 4 available motors, the 3 litre diesel is considered the most problematic, although it is up against some tough competition. This engine has known issues of faulty fuel injectors and burnt O-rings, and should be listened to at idle to make sure it ticks over without hesitation and accelerates smoothly. Cracked pistons may occur on earlier J150 models, so if you're looking for a 2009, 2010 or 2011 with this engine, it is worth asking the previous owner if they've ever experienced any problems and had replacement pistons fitted. High oil consumption should be looked out for after a purchase and may be due to a leak making its way into the combustion chamber. Smoke emitting from the exhaust is a sign to look out for, and the engine mount bushings can fail, allowing the motor to rock more than it should. Error P0524 is a software issue that reports an engine fault, but a dealer should be able to reprogram the unit to delete this erroneous warning. EGR valves need cleaning to keep them in good working order, and if a previous owner has no record of these ever being removed and cleaned, it'd be worth booking it into a workshop to avoid any further issues. Due to the numerous trim levels around the world, our choice for this episode is not for a specification of a particular name or badge, but for a mid to high spec if you are going to be using the vehicle as family transport more often than off-roading. For those wanting to keep a vehicle long term or have to use the vehicle for work, a lower specified model that has less potential for future electrical problems may be preferable. Our picks are split depending on the engine options available in your home market. The 4-litre V6 is a very tempting option for those with a slightly lower budget that want maximum dependability and don't mind higher fuel costs to avoid the risk of mechanical issues or failures. For those with a higher budget or looking for a newer model, the higher power 2.8-litre diesel in 2020 and onwards blends running costs, good reliability and power. Leave a like to help others find the video if you found our guide useful, and consider subscribing for more. As ever, happy car shopping.